Anything. Oh, I'm waiting for it to say I'm published, guys. So if you're watching it, I am live. I apologize. Just hang out for a second. And we are published, so we're live. What's going on, everybody? Seth Miranda, last ex-witness on most social media, Instagram specifically. If you're just new to this channel, I go live whenever, and usually I try to keep it on weekends, but you never know when I'm gonna go live, so hit subscribe, hit the bell, and you guys can join in the chat whenever I do end up going live. So today, I decided to go over C-stands because I did one of these videos a while ago on my IGTV, and it's been doing really well, but every now and then I get a comment, oh man, I hate IGTV, I don't wanna watch this. And it's like, okay, cool, thanks for hating on vertical video for no reason. So let's do it for real on YouTube, because it's on YouTube, then it really counts, right? So a C-stand is probably the legit way to mount your grip, your lighting systems, your flags. It's an erector set. It's beyond versatile. It's something that when you get more and more comfortable with it, you discover more and more possibilities. And it seems like it's something that's common sense, but in reality, there's a lot of physics. There's a lot of proper safety measures and things like that. This is a Matthews stand, a Matthews C-stand, and it is improperly set up. It is crazy loose, everything's all out of whack, and that's usually how you find them because people don't know how to properly treat studio spaces sometimes. Let me know if the audio is okay. I'm just gonna move the chat closer to me. Hey, what's going on, Dan Browning? Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching, man, I appreciate it. Okay, so first of all, C-stand, the letter C-stand, actually stands for century stand. And that's because when these were developed back in production forever ago, they were to hold 100 inch or centimeter, I think it's inches, round reflectors that were super popular back in the day, and they would call them century reflectors, and then there'd be a century stand, and then be turned into a C-stand for short, which became the slang for it. There's also some mutterings of, hey, what's up, Christian? There's also some mutterings of that this was developed at 20th Century Fox, and it all just kept on coinciding with itself. So that's where the term C-stand comes from. It doesn't mean that it like holds something that starts with a C or it somehow is shaped like a C. I get a lot of weird questions about that, but it really comes from century and 100 being the genesis. Okay, so first of all, what is a C-stand? This is a completed C-stand, but in reality, you usually don't get the grip arm, and we're gonna go through that in 1 second, but let's put it to the side for one moment. The C-stand is really these two parts, okay? You have your turtle base, right? Turtle base, and you have your post, and they should come apart. Now there's a million brands, a million different subtle style differences between the brands, but this is pretty much the most staple, is that you would have a knob at the bottom, and you would have your post come out, and keep in mind that you can also adapt the base. So let's take this one step at a time. So the turtle base, let's put this on the floor. The turtle base folds into itself, obviously, so you can actually just lay it flat on a grip truck. And because these are different stacks, when you put this on the ground, you can see here that I have 10 C-stands all in about 3 foot long space here. Not even 3 feet, this is like 2.5 feet of space, because they're able to go over one another's legs like that, right? And that enables for a bunch of stuff. I'll show you that in a few seconds, but when we put our base down, you can see that over the highest leg is a knob. That knob is gonna fasten down our post right here. We slide this down. Now, you don't just put it down anywhere and tighten that knob. What you need to do is have the tallest leg, I'll do it over here, the tallest leg face away from you, and then the little knobs go to the left side of the highest leg. Does that make sense? So you're facing the stand, highest leg that way, little knobs to the left, little to the left, tighten them down, tighten down all this stuff, right? And then what you have basically is a 3-tier 5/8 studded stand, which is pretty much what any light stand is that it's a 5/8 post, but this is way more stable. able to stack, can fit in small places, they can handle more weight, and usually go way higher. Now, nobody really uses C-stands just raw like this, right? That they catching 2 days in a row. Yeah, man, I try to go live as much as I can. Sometimes I just can't for a while, so I try to stack the deck a little bit. And I did the Pro Photo Remote yesterday, but today we're doing C-stands. So no one really uses a stand like this. You could just mount a light to this, right? You could just mount a 5/8 socket light right to the stand. Instead, what you're gonna wanna get is a complete setup with a grip arm. These are 2 separate pieces, a grip arm, and what Matthews calls a Hollywood arm. And the Hollywood arm doesn't even come with this pin usually. We'll get to the pin in a minute. It's one of those important pieces, and I put an affiliate link down below for you to grab one. So this is your grip arm. It's a 5/8 socket right here that goes onto your 5/8 post, but also what it has is 5/8 socket here, right? A 3/8 socket right here. And let me see if I can find it right there, this little niche right there. That's for running line through, like fishing line or cabling or something like that. Something that needs like a really tight fit with a flat clamp, because if you notice, it's only notched on one side. I don't know if you guys can see that. And there's a number of different ways to use these for different operations. We're just gonna go right into the grip and the actual arm itself, and then I'll show you some quick tricks. So the 5/8 is also the size of the rod and the grip arm, right? So when you have you obviously put it through the 5/8 socket, tighten that down. Actually, let me do it on the stand. 5/8 socket from the grip arm down, tighten it down. Remember, the little knob is on the left. Little knob is on the left of the tall leg. And this will run right through your 5/8 socket on the knuckle. And now look, big arms, big knobs on the right side. So little knobs left, big knobs right, and there's a reason for that. Now, a lot of people think that your C-stand is done and that you would actually mount your light here, but that's totally incorrect. The reason that's incorrect, and I'm gonna go right up to you guys, see this? Smooth, no notch? It's very unsafe. A pin actually has a notch on it, actually has a ridge on it, so that when you put a light into it, even if it spins, it can't fall off the mount, and that's crucial to safety, especially if you want to talk about proper protocol with insurance and just people's well-being. And of course, the investment of your lights, you want it mounted properly, right? So this is a 5/8 pin. It goes through your 5/8 socket on the arm, and there you go. I've seen these mounted ridiculous ways over the years for stupid reasons and stupid methods. And this is really the way to do it, is big knobs on the right, little knobs on the left. And the reason we do it that way is when we extend our arm, we put the weight over the tallest leg. Look, so everything's right angles. Right angles are your strongest weight point, stabilization point. So right angle over the tallest leg is all the weight. A lot of stupid people out there are doing videos in the educational space on here, and it's driving me crazy, saying the leg goes towards the model. That has nothing to do with it. Your tallest leg has everything to do with stability, and therefore the weight goes over that leg. And that means that usually if there's a softbox, it's pointing towards the model, and that's what they're trying to say, but they're stupid, because when you use like a 9-foot umbrella, it's facing the other way, and that's a huge tipping point. And if you put this leg towards your model and your huge umbrella that way, guess what happens? And then somebody gets hurt, okay? And you wreck your lights. So don't listen to that stuff. Remember, tallest leg, all the weight goes over it, okay? And then after that, you figure out your positioning of your light. So let's go back into the knobs though, because now that I've got my leg underneath my arm, and I would probably put this up so it's right angle, and then I mount my light, right? All my weight is over this point. If my weight, let me go on this side. If all my weight is on this point and it starts slipping a little bit, it'll actually tighten this knuckle more. If I were to flip this around tighten this down, mount my light, and it's on the wrong side, and it starts, look at that. It loosens up the knuckle even more because it's going lefty-loosey, right? Tighten it down, and you start putting some weight on it. Next thing you know, all you need is a little bit, and boom, it's down, it's over. You always want to make sure that your weight is going over the tallest leg, and that your knob, your big knobs are on the right side of the tallest leg, and that way, righty-tighty. It'll always stay getting tighter, and then no one gets hurt. Does everyone get that? Is that cool? That's your number one biggest safety concern. And when you use a sandbag, you always put the sandbag over the tallest leg. And now you're gonna say, but Seth, don't you want to put it on the back end? Sure you do. Sure you want to put it on the back side, and that makes sense for you. But the reality is the tallest leg, see how that swings? That means all the weight of the sandbag is holding down this stand. If I put it on a shorter leg and it starts touching the ground, it's not holding anything. Look, I can even move my stand all over the place because the ground is holding up that sandbag and not the stand, and therefore it is not a counterweight. Having said that, there are weights. Let me see if I got one around here. It's probably in the closet. Sorry, guys. Oh, no, here it is. There are weights like this, which are called pumpkins, and these can loosen up and then clamp down to the back of your stand if you needed a counterweight on the other side of it for whatever reason. A lot of people just clamp these straight to the legs and leave them there, and then they have to worry about sandbags again. These are called pumpkins. That's the slang term. If I could know the real term for it, I would put the link up, but I have to look for it. But either way, when we're talking about putting weight on the back side of a stand, it's usually this, or we take this and we hang it. There's usually a shorter strap, here it is, and we can hang it from like a knob, you know, and then you can get weight off that way. But typically, you'd never want to put a sandbag on a shorter leg, and if you do, it's because you're adding more than one sandbag and there wasn't enough room on the tall leg. I see a lot of influencer people that are specialists in lighting showing 20 bags on a stand when all they had to do was proper physics of putting it over the tallest leg. I mean, it's not going anywhere. Now, let me see, seen some incorrect instruction videos, they should be banned. Yeah. If only we could ban incorrect instructional videos, right? No one actually checks these videos. Technically, I could be wrong right now too, and you guys are watching it, right? But this is from years of being around sets, and keep in mind that everybody that makes C-stands has like little tricks and things to what they do with them. One of the other things that you may see is people take out the post completely, right? So this is now out of the equation. We put this down. And what they'll end up doing is using something called a junior to baby adapter. And then what this is, the slang term, and I'm not kidding you, the slang term for this is butt plug, is what it is. It goes right into the socket of the turtle stand. You tighten it down, and now I have a floor stand for the lowest possible point of safely mounting a light if I needed to. And it's super, super versatile, these things. There's other things you can do with a C-stand that I think people should kind of know about. Makes life a lot easier. Let's mount this properly. Are there any questions in the chat before I get going on this? Okay, seems like you guys have been like using C-stands. Now, the one thing I really want to stress is when it comes to C-stands, they are with you for almost the entire life of your career. No matter what body, what lens, what lights, what softboxes, what modifiers, what sandbag, it doesn't matter what you get out there, your C-stand, it will fit with every system you ever have. So to skimp on them, to save money on them, is kind of not smart, and usually you're saving like 80 bucks. When in the grand scheme of things, it'll probably fail and break one of your lights, or you might have to get new grip arms over time, and every time you spend $20 to $60 for grip arms because they wear out or they crack, you're losing money that way, and it's just not cool. The only time I recommend maybe skimping out on grip a little bit is if it is a budget production and you're not putting a lot of stress on the grip itself. But if it's for like all use and you don't know what you're going to get into in your career, I wouldn't skimp on grip itself. I really wouldn't. But having said that, I did put links down below for some budget Flashpoint C-stands, and I have used them and they've done pretty well. But there's definitely a difference. Matthews has milled metal, not die cast, so there's no cracking really in them. I've never seen Matthews stands really go bad. So anyway, I wanted to show you this. So many of you have probably seen these, which are super clamps, right? And you can just tighten them down. And on the other side of them is a 5/8 socket. And you can have a post put in there, or you can take this post, put it right onto your baby pin, tighten it down, and now basically what you have, let me tighten it down, what you basically have is an articulating clamp arm, which is awesome, right? You could put anything in there, and that's not just lighting. Could be any type of props or just stanchions to keep backgrounds up. Plenty of people actually do this. Let me take this off really quick. Plenty of people actually use this part as a clamp. Well, actually, before I go into that, I just want to let you guys know that this is my favorite baby pin of all time. This is the Kupo 5/8 grip arm pin. And the reason it's my favorite is it has knurled texture here for extra grip, and it's a female 1/4-20 and 3/8 socket on either side. So if you're someone like me that uses cold shoes a lot, you can just screw a cold shoe to the top and you can mount a speed light. Real simple. I mean, why not have those female sockets there? I mean, they're pretty awesome. Okay, so with the baby pin out, this piece right here, let me take this off really quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This piece right here becomes a clamp itself, because you can have this little space in here and then tighten it down and keep something held in there. Usually let's say there's a background you want to use and it's just like a piece of cardboard and there's no way to really hold it up. You can put your grip arm down like this, open this up. Let me just get a board really fast and I'll show you. So let's say this is a background, right? I can literally just put this in here, tighten this down, and let's say it's up there. I tighten this down and now I have a support system for, I'll shrink it down so it's on camera. So now I have a support system for the background itself, right? You can clamp it, do whatever you got to do, but it can easily just come down on a V-flat and hold the V-flat more stable if you needed it to, all sorts of stuff like that. Having said that, I've used this multiple times as reflector holders, right? So if I take this, I open it up. I am sweating to death, by the way. It is humid as death here in New York. I don't know where you guys are from, but I am dying right now. Whew. I am not made for humidity. So if I properly mount this like this, right? I can take my reflector. You guys saw me make these live. If you haven't, check out my Brooklyn reflector videos on how to make these live. And I just slide this in there between the knuckle and the clamp itself. Tighten this down just a little bit. Don't need a lot of grip on that. And you can stretch this arm out and get it to lay flat. And now pretty much wherever I need a reflector, I can do that, right? I mean, and you know, use common sense of how you would rig it and stuff like that, but for the most part, you can put it wherever you need it. I personally like the shorter stands for mounting my reflectors to it, and try to keep yourself from using the actual clamp itself here. I don't know if you guys, can you see that? If you can see that, let me show you. Try to keep yourself away from using this as the bite point, because it'll wreck your reflectors. Here, at least it'll keep it kind of flat, if that makes any sense. Oh boy. But this is just a normal 40-inch C-stand with a full-size arm. I'm sorry, this is a 40-inch arm, I'm sorry. This is a full-size stand. This is a shorty, this guy right here. And this is typically what I'll use to mount reflectors on, mainly because I always want the reflector lower more than not. You know, usually your keys are up higher. And if I take this, same rules, right? Little knobs on the left, big knobs on the right, take the baby pin out. I stretch this over the arm. And then I just take this guy, mount it right here between the clamp and the bushing, drop it down, and now I have a total reflector wherever I need it. And if I needed to, I could use this knob, the bigger knob on this knuckle, and pitch it whichever way I need it. And of course, you have all that distance in the stand to make it as tall or as short as you need it. And then you can pitch it however you want. And you got yourself a nice bounce reflection right there. Do I look pretty? Should I be Instagram? Look at me. Look at my cool vacation. All right, so that's pretty much my overview on how to set a C-stand. Of course, there's a million other things and tips and tricks and stuff with C-stands. They're a reason they're a staple in this industry, and one of those reasons is they hold up and they always have the most versatility with the smallest footprint. And when you're shooting, sometimes you need to double stand something. In fact, let me show you this. Actually, you know what? Let me show it to you proper. I'm going to take this guy out. Let me see. Let me get a knuckle going here. We'll do it out of this knuckle. So you take this. Remember I showed you how it has a 5/8 and a 3/8 socket in here? Well, these are flags, and they're 3/8 rods, right? 3/8 rods. Well, they fit right here in this 3/8 socket. Tighten this down, and now I have either something to block light, something to put to just rest a reflector on, and I can keep on taking it on and taking it away if I need to. All sorts of stuff, right? I could lay a fabric on here and make a fake table if I needed to. It doesn't need to actually hold anything. It's just for the visuals of the shot, right? Or I can use it to physically block a part of a light. And when I do that, right, if I take a C-stand, if I take that C-stand that I was just using and I mount it properly, and I have a knuckle and I have a pin, and then I put a light over here, right? And I want to light something, I can use this flag to keep the light from getting all over the place that I don't want it to, especially if I'm using constant lights, right? And what I can do to keep the footprint down is, I don't know if you guys can see this, boom, stand on top of stand. When it comes to using a lot of grip in a small place, nothing beats a C-stand. If you were to use traditional stands, they'd be like farther apart, stacking awkwardly, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of weirdness when it comes to like normal stands. If you have the ability to use C-stands, use them. Are they travel friendly? Not really. Do you rent them when you get to a location and you know you have a job? Yeah, they're at every rental house in the world pretty much. One second. And they hold up. I mean, they just really hold up. There's a lot of extra different style knuckles, double knuckles, which are called gags. You could even, ooh, do I have one? I do have one. Let's do this. You want to get even crazier? Check this out. I take off the arm completely. Look what I have over here. I have an attachment that lets me throw down 3 5/8 posts, or 5. I want to mount some underneath here or something like that. I have that ability. This is what I'm talking about. This is how stable this type of system is. So this is why there's such an industry standard. I mean, look at this. I got like a menorah going on over here. But you could also put this on a knuckle if you wanted to. I probably wouldn't, just because it would cause more tipping and tilting points, which are probably Wrong. Let me see what it says. Thank you so much for doing these because I had nothing but trouble with mine. Do have one question. How do I stop the modifier from spinning on baby pin when it's over 36 inches? Okay, so, and you're using a modifier with the 8600. Okay, so I'm gonna say this once and you guys can hate me all you want, but when it comes to lower cost lighting, odds are the socket that they have on their modifier mounts, their adapters and things, aren't milled correctly for a 5/8 post, and that's why they don't sit flat, and that's why they don't tighten down all the way, therefore leaving gaps, and therefore leaving fall points of it. If it's not standing straight up, if you tilt it a little bit, it'll start spinning, usually because the sockets are bad. That's another thing you get with higher end lighting, is that it fits perfectly and mounts rock solid. I'm not 100% familiar with the 8600, but I will say that some of those like Godoxy lines, I have had lights that just don't sit flat on traditional C-stand posts, and I do not know why. I don't know why they didn't just get it right. Some of them aren't deep enough, the socket. Some of them aren't flat enough at the top, and there's like a dome gap on it. All sorts of reasons. Again, I'm not gonna stress enough that you get what you pay for in this industry. Not that you need to spend a ton of money, but there's gonna be things that fall short when you pay a certain price. So having said that, I don't know a fix for that, honestly. I maybe hit up one of the guys that use Godox, or is that Godox 8600? Yeah, heavily, and see if they have a fix for it. But I've definitely seen some issues with that, especially when I've had to do live demos showing off some new product out there, and things like that happen all the time. Terry, I hope that solved that. I don't know if you felt that. Like if you put your light on a post and it's still got like a weird wobble to it, you can kind of feel it coming that there's an issue. In fact, if this is a Manfrotto super clamp, a traditional one, when I put it on there, it's flush, and then I just tighten it down, and I can tell you there's no spinning on it because it was milled perfectly for a 5/8 post. And that's just a friggin' clamp, Yeah, so if there's any questions on C-stands, let me know what you got going on right now. I just threw this one together real quick. I hope it was beneficial. Let me take my menorah off here. This is crazy, by the way, just bananas. But C-stands are fantastic, and if you can't afford a Matthews, which is somewhere between $200 to $300, and you want to just get practice with a C-stand, I put a link below for the Flashpoint C-stand system that they have. I think it's like $120. Figure it out. Just put it down, look back at this video, put the knobs on the right way, and then really figure out what you need out of a stand. I mean, just having an arm alone, I can't express to you enough how amazing it is when you're lighting something to not have to be married to it like right here or like right here and you're shooting like this. Just to have an arm, right, to get it out of your way, to get your light totally out of your way. And I'm talking to my subject. There's nothing like, I'm just right there with them. You'll be surprised how much of a different portrait you get out of that. And be wary of just buying an arm and putting it on a regular light stand. They are not made for, they're not really made for the tipping point. So just be wary that you always have a leg over the weight, okay? Again, please don't listen to anyone that says the high leg or the leg just faces the model. No, the leg has to be under the most weight that's on the freaking stand, okay? Don't listen to that stuff. Hi, Seth, do you know what brand the short C-stand is? Yeah, this is also Matthews. This guy, these ones are actually pricey. They're almost the same price as this, and you can't really use it for much. It's one of those C-stands that like you always want, but you're kind of like, oh, you don't buy it till you have to. But I'll say this, after you buy a short stand, it's just awesome, especially if you're someone that does still life and product photography, like I do a few times a month as paid jobs. I love a short stand with a short arm. This is a Matthews. Do they even call it anything anymore? It is a B756120. So there's that. And Matthews is awesome. They are just industry standard, 100%. You know, if there was some way to make these go down even smaller and lighter and still have the same exact ability, I wouldn't even think about any other stands. But this is really meant for staying in one area. Like we have a studio, so we have a bunch of them, and we always know we got stands. We don't have to worry about that. When you're bringing gear to the studio to shoot here, we just go, oh, I need my camera, my body, I need my body lens and you know, triggers, and I'm ready to go. Or if I'm bringing in a new system, I always know I have hardcore stands sitting here ready to go, and I can do anything I want with them. And most of the time, I'm gonna say, we grip things to them that aren't even lights. I mean, you could take two arms like this next to each other and just drape a silk over it with no other grip and have a nice soft light if you needed. What about those Manfrotto ones that got the boom arm but a foot like a regular stand? Do they suffer from the same issue with balancing the weight? The boom arm with the regular stand. I'm gonna say that if you read those stats on the Manfrotto that you're talking about, that it'll tell you it's only meant for a certain amount of weight and not like what these are rated for. A lot of those are rated for like 9 to 11 pounds. And also, let's make this super clear. This is not a boom arm, okay? A boom arm is a totally different piece. It's something that mounts up, can hang something from, and you can articulate from it. This is just a grip arm, different story, okay? So just be wary of that. But I would say that if there is anything with a normal base, like a regular generic light stand base, that it's not rated for the same amount of weight that a C-stand is. That being said, I'm sure there's ways to counterweight it. Just be smart with the way you counterweight. And always remember that it's always a better idea to do right angles, right? So if I had a light, I'd go this way, you're my subject, I'd mount my light, have my beauty dish or whatever it is, click it down and let it touch the big knob here, and that way everything grip-wise is a right angle and it's not going anywhere. In fact, with nothing on it and forcefully pushing down on it, I'm good to go. Woo, man. You know, it's funny, you know, you think all the videos you want to do on these channels is like live lighting and shooting with pretty girls and stuff like that. You kind of forget that there's these little tiny things that you deal with every day that not everybody else deals with as hobbyists, or if they don't have a studio or something like that. So you kind of lose sight of what people are trying to learn out there, or the little tiny stop gaps between getting a shot and the beginning of setting up. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I'll send you to a link to the ones that I mean. Language barrier, lack of knowledge of terminology. No, I'm sure it exists. I just have heard a lot of people call these boom arms, and they're just not boom arms. In fact, if you were on a set or going to a rental company and you were trying to get a boom arm, this is not what they would give you. So just be in mind of that. All right. Anything else, guys? I'm going to try to go live. I think next week I actually have a guest for some live Q&A. I just want to confirm with them before I announce who it is. I will be live on facebook.com/Adorama on Tuesday, July 9th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing ghosting and shutter drags. You guys love that, right? We'll do some, you know, long exposures and some multiple pop flashes and some ghosty, draggy motion type stuff. And I'd really appreciate if you guys could tune in for that. If you don't know who I am, check out Adorama TV right here on YouTube and look up Seth Miranda. You'll find my live view playlist with shoots from Paris, Amsterdam, Germany, right here in rooftops in New York, all sorts of stuff. And also, of course, Adorama Rewind, where I give you the sum up of what's going on in the industry. Yeah, so if there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know. Please share the videos around, hit like, get your friends to subscribe. I can't stress that enough. If everybody got one extra person to jump on, we could create a real community, you know? And you guys can have a nice chat and try this stuff together. You know, I think one of the things I benefit more than anything about this particular studio is that I get to share with guys like Daniel and Paul Gelsabello and some amazing photographers that are here in New York working, and we just kind of like bounce ideas, share gear, or tear into each other until we make each other better photographers. And you know, hopefully you guys can get a local buddy to join this channel and get something going together. I'm actually trying shutter drag stuff next myself. Got a friend who wants such photos and I need the practice. Well, tune in on July 9th. I'll be there for you, and I have plenty of videos out there. I definitely have a couple on Adorama. I have some on Adorama's IGTV in the very, very beginning of the IGTV channel. There's a ton of my demos. I will be getting back to those demos. I just can't find the time. I'm trying to do some stuff on my channel here. I thank you guys so much for being part of this. I can't do this without you guys there, and you know, it means a lot. It really does. And also, just so you know, we're almost at 1 million subscribers on Adorama's YouTube channel. So let's get that number hit. Let's hit 1 million subscribers on that channel. I have a Godox 300S. I added a second screw. There was a threaded hole. I put in screws and it keeps them tight. Yeah, Keith, if you have low cost or you know, more affordable lighting options, and there's problems like the mounting system, you're going to have to DIY it a little bit. It's just what it is. That's what you paid. That's what you saved on the price, right? I'm sure those lights fit a specific standard mount that maybe they even sell, but it's really weird that they didn't make it for C-stands. It's been very frustrating for me when I have to demo that type of lighting. Okay, woo, man, I am schwitzing to death. I have a bottle of water in that freezer. I'm dying to go maybe get some ices from somebody on a corner stand here. I don't know. It is summertime in Brooklyn, and it is disgusting here, and it smells like hot garbage, let me tell you. If you guys are new to the channel, please check out everything else. I got live chats with Daniel Norton and Gavin Hoey, live chats with Vanessa Joy. I have on-axis fill light, how to make your own reflectors, mixing studio strobes with speed lights, all sorts of stuff. I just did the ProPhoto remote system. If you're someone that got into ProPhoto or wants to know what it's like to control ProPhoto lights, I just did that. Yeah, any last questions, guys, or I'm getting out of here? You let me know. Last questions, last call, last call, last call. No bada, no bada, no bada. Nothing? All right, guys. Oh, man, thank you guys so much. Oh, and another video you might want to check out on my channel that has died, apparently, is wow. DIY lighting out of holiday garbage. You look for that one. It has a nice picture of the beautiful arena. Ice baths, that'll cool you down. Yeah, I know, right? I could totally use an ice bath. I could totally use a vacation out of New York during the summer, but that's not gonna happen. All right, anything? Okay, join me on Twitch, twitch.tv/AdoramaXP. I'll see you guys tomorrow on that. We will be doing another giveaway. I'm alerting you guys right now. We're doing another raffle giveaway for something big. So get on AdoramaXP on Twitch and hit follow. All right, guys. If you need anything, I put affiliate links down below. If you're looking to get anything, go to adorama.com/lastxwitness and just make sure your cookies are enabled on your browser. Also, if you guys want to get some rad shirts like this one, where it shows some of my photos from over the years on some shirts and other merch, you guys can hit up my Shopify store. The link is down below. All this stuff goes to helping out the channel and getting me to fund it so I can get more resources. You just saw me upgrade to wireless mics, which is pretty awesome. Thanks so much for that. Couldn't have done without you guys. All right, I will see you guys on Adorama or probably next time here. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you later.